Hello students, welcome again. This is a revision video of your chapter 1, what, where, how and when. Please watch the video till the end to understand and to know all the important point of this chapter. Watching the video is also very important for you to learn the chapter very clearly because I have covered some important points in this chapter. As you know, we have already completed some part of this. Uh, uh, we have already completed this chapter, and today we will only revise important points. Okay, so the chapter is what, where, how, and when. Okay, so students, in this chapter, as I told you that you know that what happened yesterday. Okay, because you could listen to the radio, watch television and read newspaper for this. And for last year ask somebody who remember, जिसकी memory तेज हो उससे आप पूछ सकते हैं कि what happened last year. But what about long ago? Okay, so we have already completed that. Historian does lots of things and they use lots of things to know about the past. Okay, or firstly I want to tell that what is past and what can we know about past. Okay, so there are several things we can find out: what people eat, what kinds of clothes they wore, houses in which they lived. ठीक है, तो basically these things we can know, and we want to know about them because it's a natural curiosity which came in your mind also, that कि क्या पहले भी ऐसे ही होता था. Okay, and we can find out the lives of hunter, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, craft person, artists, musician and scientist. Okay, so we can also find about the games children play, the stories they heard, the play they saw, the song they sung. Okay, so we can find these things by the we can find these things by the historians, and historians find out these things by the help of some uh, instrument and some techniques. Okay, so we have already learned about what things they use to know about the past and what are these their techniques. Okay, so the main point we have covered, that where did people live. Okay, we know about it. How we know about it? Okay, you already know about this by this. uh, and if you want to learn about it again, you want to watch the video again, you can watch my previous video to understand it very clearly. So in this video we will only revise some important point of related to this chapter. Okay, so what were the some important dateline, some important dateline so which we have learned some important dateline. These datelines were: first one is about 800 years ago. About 8,000 years ago, women and men first began to grow crops. Okay, we all know that because we have read about it in our earlier videos, that about 800 years ago, women and men first began to grow crops, because that was the time when women and men started growing crops. Before this they were not able to grow the crops because they were not settled properly and they didn't know about the techniques also. So 8,000 years ago, that was the time when women and men first began to grow crops, and this was a very revolutionary change in their life, in the human history. Okay, and 4,700 years ago, some of the earliest cities flourished on the bank of river. Okay, so when people start making their cities, when they started living together, when they started making a social life, that was the time of 4,700 years ago, when some of the earlier cities flourished on the bank of the river. Okay, and about 2,500 years ago, cities came up on the bank of Ganga and its tributaries along sea coast. Ganga river is very important river in the world because of its history. Because first life started flourishing in this in Ganga coast only. Because in past people preferred those places which are nearby the river, because only river, not river but because on any water bodies they considered to live along with any water body, because by these water bodies they can get water, because there was only source of water at that time was rivers and lakes. So they prefer to live nearby any river. So about 2500 years ago cities came up on the bank of Ganga and its tributaries and along sea coast, because from these places water was available, and the land of these areas were very fertile. As people started agriculture, so they prefer those places which are very fertile, and they make their land, and then they start agricultural work, because they get a good response, a good products from these areas. So cities came up on the bank of Ganga and its tributaries and along sea coast. Okay, and about 2000 years ago Jesus Christ is born. This is very important. About 2000 years ago Jesus Christ is born, because Jesus Christ, as you know that we use some terms that BC AD, ठीक है, तो that we used to show the time. Okay, so show the dates, so to know about the date before Christ, ठीक है, तो BC and AD we use. As I told you that people started living near the rivers, and Brahmaputra rivers is also one of them. So why Brahmaputra river is important? Because the Brahmaputra rivers have different name in different countries. Okay. So students, as we were reading in this chapter that the name of the rivers and the place and the things changes according to the time, because according to the time, why these things changes according to the time? Because language also changes. That's why historians are very carefully to know about some places and to write about these places, because name changes continuously. So one of example of this is the Brahmaputra river, because Brahmaputra river has different name in different countries, like it is called Shangpo in Tibet, चाइना और तिब्बत में इसे बोला जाता है सांगपो. ब्रह्मपुत्रा इन इंडिया and Jamuna in Bangladesh. During floods and water of the Brahmaputra looks reddish in color after mixing with the red soil of Assam. This is why the Brahmaputra is also known as the red river. Okay, this is also a very important point of this chapter, because these are the some names of Brahmaputras which historians also use in their historical work, in their notes and in their writings. So you have to understand these names also. So students, and इसके अलावा there are some other important part that we had covered in this chapter. So people live along the bank of Narmada river for several thousand years, gathered collected food and also hunted animals. As you have completed this in your book also, this map I have given you, and you have filled this in your book and in your notebook also. So this map is also important, because in this map you can show the Narmada river. Okay, and next is Suleiman and Kirthar hills. They are also important. Suleiman and Kirthar hills of North India. Okay, so you have already completed this in the north part of the India, Suleiman and Kirthar hill. Okay, this map I have already done you. That's why I am not. This map is not completely visible. You can see this in your book also. Okay, north, south, east and west. So Suleiman and Kirthar hills is basically in the northeast part of northeast part of India. So Suleiman and Kirthar hills and first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley 8,000 years ago. Okay, so people started growing crops such as wheat and barley 8,000 years ago here, and rearing animals like sheep, goat and cattle, and lived in villages. They started making their village. Okay, so means they started a social life in 8,000 years ago by growing crops, by making villages. Okay, so Suleiman and Kirthar Hills was one of them, because the land here was very fertile, and because of the river flows there, and northeast and northwest part of the India is also these places. Okay, so uh, and Garo Hills also. Garo Hills east and Vindhya central India में आप देखोगे, that is Garo Hills and other area. So there people started their agriculture, and Vindhya place rice was first grown. Vindhya is the place where rice was started grown, that is in the central India. I can also see this map in your history book lesson 1. Okay, I can show you the map here also again, that Yamuna river, where it started the work of agriculture near the Yamuna river, and near the Yamuna river, near the Suleiman and Kirthar Hills, where they are here. Okay, and the Vindhya also, that is the Vindhya. Okay, Vindhyachal जिसको हम बोलते हैं. Here the rice, people started growing rice first in Vindhya and Narmada river. Okay, because of the Narmada river water, the agriculture of rice become, the crops of rice and the growing of rice become very easy for the farmers. So they prefer growing rice here, and this is the place where people started rice production firstly. So as you know that Vindhyachal is the Parvat, and Vindhya is that place where ancient people started growing rice. Okay, and Indus and its tributary, 4700 years ago, earliest cities flourished on the bank of this river. Okay, so Indus river and its tributary, जिसको हम सिंध नदी, Indus river. So that was the place where earliest cities flourished on the bank of these areas. Okay, and Ganga and its tributaries, Son, Ganga ki there are lots of tributaries of Ganga like Son, Ghagra, Chambal, but here 2500 years ago cities started developing Ganga, near the Ganga and its tributaries. South of the Ganga, Magadha rulers were powerful large kingdom. Okay, as I have completed this Magadha, about this Magadha kingdom in your earliest video, and you can also again read this in your book, because the Magadha kingdom was a very powerful kingdom at that time, and it was near the south of the Ganga, and Magadha rulers were powerful, and this was a large kingdom of at that time. Okay students, and the in the next topic of this chapter you are reading about the name of the places, because name of the places change according time to time. That's why historian had to very carefully to know about the names. The word India comes from the Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit, and 2500 years ago Iranians and Greek called the river Hindus or Indus. Land of the east of the river was called India, and Bharata कब से नाम पड़ा इंडिया का? Group of people who lived near the northwest motion in Rigveda. It's mentioned in the Rigveda. So they started calling it Bharata. Rigveda में हमारा ये नाम है Rigveda. इंडिया के 4 Veda हैं. That was Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, Ajurved, and in the Rigveda this name is found Bharata. That's why we also, our India, we also called it Bharata. And how we find about the past, that is because of the manuscript and inscriptions. Manuscripts and inscriptions are very useful things for the historians to know about the past, because these things help them to understand about the past. How they know about it? Because in manuscript, page from a palm leaf or birch tree bank from Himalayas, they use a palm tree, which is a palm tree's beak, a palm tree leaf or its brick, which is that tree is found in Himalaya, and they used to write on it, because at that time paper was not invented. Okay, so paper was very costly at that time. That's why people use palm trees brick, its leaf, and they used to write on it by hand, and these all things are written in Sanskrit, Prakritic and Tamil. Okay, these three languages, Sanskrit, Prakritic and Tamil, people used in ancient time in India. And inscriptions also have them. Inscriptions are written on stone or metal. Okay, so kings recorded of victories of battle in those inscriptions. Okay, so these are the some things which helps historians to know about the past. You have to also learn about the full form of um, some vocabularies and some words, because these are the important part of this chapter also. BC means before Christ. AD, Anno Domini, in the year of the Lord. CE, AD and BCE, okay, the common era, BCE before common era. Okay, and BP before present, used sometime, used is before present, matlab ancient type ke liye we also used BP. Okay, you have completed this in earlier chapter, in earlier video, so you have to just remind these things. And inscriptions contain both language and scripts. Okay, इसमें दोनों चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. Scholar understand by decipherment, because famous decipherment Egyptian 5000 years ago, Rosetta Stone inscriptions in different languages, and one is Greek and two in Egyptian form. Okay, so we have seen the inscriptions are inscribed on hand surface, and many these were inscribed several hundreds of years ago, and all inscriptions contain both scripts and language which were used as well as script have changed over time. So how do scholars understand what was inscribed? Because the language also changed, the words also changed, and they can be done through a process known as decipherment. ओके, डिसिफ्रमेंट मीन्स उस लैंग्वेज को समझना कि उनका मीनिंग क्या है. दे यूज सम वर्ड्स फॉर द सिंबल टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट इट, यानी कि यू कैन सी दैट दिस इज यूज फॉर द पी इन एंशिएंट टाइम, दिस इज यूज फॉर द टी, दिस इज फॉर द ओ, दिस इज फॉर द एल इन रोमन, this is for the M, this is for the I, S, K. Okay, so they historians also used to learn to understand these languages, because this is also very important for them. So they use this decipherment to understand the languages of the ancient people. Okay, so student, one of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt. A century in North Africa, where there were kings and queens about 5,000 years ago, and Rosetta is a town on the north coast of Egypt, and here an inscribed stone was found, and which is contained inscription in 3 different languages and scripts, Greek and 2 form of Egyptian. Scholar who could read Greek figured out that the name of kings and queens were enclosed in a little frame and called a corchus. They then place the Greek and the Egyptian signs side by side and identify the sound for which the Egyptian letters stood. As you can see, a lion stood for L and the bird for A. Once they knew what the letters stood for, they could read other inscription as well. Okay, so they used to, जिसको हम बोलते हैं इसका translate करते हैं वो, they translate this by their own by their own vocabulary, their own alphabets, and then they able to learn to read their work, and they able to know that what happened in the history and what will happen in the past. Okay students, so please also watch the previous video to learn this chapter clearly. Okay.